Hi, Anthony, Hamilton County Lawn Service. I'll be doing my first video on my very first demo. So first of all, I'd like to thank Bendel and Anderson for allowing me to keep this thing for a couple days. We are demoing a Ferris 36-inch Z1 stand-on, and we had this for a couple days. And let me give you, first of all, let me give you the things that I don't like about it before I do. One thing is the front tires. I think the front tires could be a little bit bigger, and they say they're solid tires. Well, they're not. They're run flats because they are hollow. Problem you will run into there is as they begin to wear, they will begin to shred, and it may leave you stuck on somebody's yard somewhere where they're being shredded. Another thing is these things right here. I don't have a problem with these so much. It's just they're shoved in here with a cotter pin. When these things begin to wear, then you're going to have to probably replace this whole assembly right here. I think it'd be easier if you just had this running in here with a bearing in it. So the bearing, when it wears out, you can just pop that bearing out and put the thing back in. Another thing I don't like, if you bring the camera up here, is right here are your controls for your deck. And if you notice, what I do like is the fact that it's the pin and it goes down instead of coming to the side. Now I'm doing this side by side with the stand-on that I own. So if you bring your camera around, here, right here is the one on the on my Kubota stand-on, and I'll be doing a video on that separate. You wonder why I got the zip tie on there, because this thing likes to come back here and slide out because there's no ball bearing back here to hold it. And I've actually had this thing come out and the deck drop all the way while I was mowing and scalp somebody's yard. So another thing I do about it is you come up here and show the console, on here, is if you notice, and I'll take the camera here for just a second, if you notice, you have to go down in this big little hole to be able to see your fuel gauge. And if you notice, there are no markings, there's no nothing, there's no red or anything. And then I don't know why they just can't put it up here. But one thing is, you got your controls here, you got your choke, which is right here, which I do like, your throttle right here, which I do like, unless of course you're running at a slow speed. Now some people don't like the fact that your PTO is so far back. I think it'd be better if it was up here for the people that way you can get access to it. I've heard people complain about the key and where the key is. Well, you're only using the key twice at a house. That's to start it and to shut it off. Or if you unless you shut it off if a customer comes to talk to you. But other than that, I just usually turn the blades off, put the parking brake on, and move away from the mower. One thing, and now let me get into some of the things that I do like. Some of the things that I do like is now some people have the parking brake over here. This one's here. I have no problem with that. What I do like is the fact that you can have the parking brake off. If you step off of the mower, it does not kill the mower, it just kills the blades. I prefer to have the shut off on one of your handles, because if you look over here at the Kubota, right there's your shut off. And if you pull that up, it kills the motor and the blades, all of it. But this one right here will just kill the blades. And a lot of times the reason I like it there is because if I'm holding this down and the shut off is here, I can step off, reach down, pick something up, get back up and keep going. Doesn't have to worry about anything like that. What I do like is the tires and everything. The back tires are wide enough to get it, and all this stuff's greasable. I do like. Another thing I do not like is this up here. The one thing I don't like is if you get a zoom in shot on this. Once you get past here, there's no markings. It can be very confusing. You're looking at this is 1 inch. This is 2 inches. But you wouldn't really know that this is 2 1/4, this is 2 1/2, this is 2 3/4. Then you got 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Why they would not just mark each one of those holes? So when you do that, it just pops down. One thing I do like is you don't have to push the button when you're ready. All you gotta do is pull it back and it latches, because the latches, you can see the latches right here. You get back here at the back. I do like the fact that lifts up, and it is instead of coming off. If you look over here at the Kubota does not lift up, it comes off. And I have literally had this thing come off while mowing and drop down to my legs. So I like the fact that this right here lifts up instead of coming off. It gives you access. You know, here you've got your hydro releases right here. One of the biggest mistakes people make is when their stuff gets stuck, they try and tow it out with the hydros intact. And if you do that, that's a very expensive mistake because it'll cost you a lot of money to get the hydros fixed. Over here on this side, you got the gas tank, which I like because it sits up a little bit higher, so you can actually get more. You actually get more fuel in it. I think this has got like a 2.5 gallon. And over here, it's got the suspension. I noticed a little bit of a difference with the suspension, which is Ferris is known for. But one thing I did not know is, and I did not know this just before I shot this video, is I had a bungee cord on this the whole time. I did not realize that you do this and move it over and it holds itself up. But I know what's going to happen. You're going to hit a bump and there it goes. But these bearings in here, they are greasable, but they have bolts in them, so you have to add your own grease fitting on it. So that's the runaround. It's got the Kawasaki carbureted engine, the 600 carburetor. It does not have the EFI on it, which I'm going to do a separate thing on the EFIs. A lot of your EFI Kawasaki's are not going to last long because one of them, I was told by a dealer, is already on a do not sell recall. And so Kawasaki, I think, is going to have a big problem with their EFIs. So what we're going to do is we're going to start it up. My grass isn't tall enough yet, but I've talked to my neighbor and she told me I'm welcome to mow her yard. So I'm going to start it up and let you hear it, and we will get to do a little bit of mowing, and we'll let you know. And it does strike very well. I do like the fact of how well it strikes. So let's get some grass. have my wife jump on there. And she's gonna make a couple passes. You notice here, you have your throttle here, and I don't turn the throttle full up until I get the blades on. She's gonna make a couple passes. I'm gonna explain to you a little something about the steering that I don't like. Okay, go ahead and have her step off and I'll show you a little something. One thing I don't like is, if you notice when she made that first turn, how it spun around on her. That wasn't her, that was this. If you notice, these blades, these things here are very jerky. They're very, very sensitive. And one thing is, if you notice, when I came down the side of the house, when you thought I opened it up, that was top speed. This does not have a very good speed to it. Probably a little bit greater than your residential mowers. I've got a Cub in there. It's a little bit faster than that, but not much. I understand why they don't want it to run 10, 11, 12 miles an hour because of the short stature. If you hit it, it will throw you. And on an incline or something like that, it's very hard to control because of the controls. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. And, you may have to bring the camera in a little bit closer so they can see. People ask me, they say, well, would you ever buy this mower? Well, I think these are jerky because it's a demo, not because Ferris designed it this way. I would have to look at a new one of the new ones that's off the showroom, and if it does not have that jerkiness to it, or that jerkiness can be adjusted where it's not as bad, I would probably give this mower either an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And it's a very good quality mower. I enjoy it. My wife enjoys it. And other than a little bit of slow speed, we did a a 1 acre lot between me and the Kubota. And this thing, it stripes very well. It does, it cuts very good. So anyway, that is what I think of this. Now, if this right here is the way that they're set, and they are set to be jerky, for me anyway, that would be a deal breaker, because I can't have a mower that's going to spin around and run a risk of throwing you off. So, but I really do like this mower, except for the controls. The only deal breaker would be the controls. But other than that, I really do like this mower, and I will let you know if anything else transpires. And this is Anthony from Hamilton County Lawn Service, and you have a good day.